Hi, I'm Jessie Ahmet, your host of Valley News Now, and I have two very special guests with me here today. I have Shauna and Kaya, and we are talking about, well, after I just laughed and smiled, we're talking about a very sad situation, honestly. A very beautiful couple, and just your story. There's a fundraiser, and that is kind of what we're mainly talking about, and so I'm going to just put that in your head right now. September 11th, Monday. It's at 701 Eateries. We'll get you all the details. But then, Shauna, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your story, or a lot bit about your story.
Yeah, sure. So, it has a bit of a timeline to it.
Yeah.
In March of 21, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My husband found a mass in my breast, and he's an oncologist and hematologist, so he kind of knew right away that it was breast cancer. I was only 32 at that time.
I mean,
and
32.
yeah,
32.
and it was just a month and a half before our wedding, and so it was just it stole the focus of, one of the most momentous times of our lives.
Yeah.
And I had to do chemo and surgery and radiation. I had to wear a
Wow.
wig at the wedding. I had to do chemo 2 days before.
Wow. So before it even started, it was that to that point that
Yeah.
you needed to get on this.
Yeah, Kaya was at all my chemos with me, watching me try to save enough hair, and it just didn't pan out. And it was sad, like trying to wear a mask on my wedding day and being worried
Yeah.
about my health. And
Because this is 21,
Yeah.
so we're in our COVID season,
Yeah.
Right.
and you've got all of a sudden all this
Yeah.
thrown at you.
And I finally meet this person who is just so unexpected and unlike anyone I've ever met. And
Yeah.
to
yeah,
have
you meet
that,
the love of your life.
yeah, the nerd of my life.
The
yeah.
nerd of your life.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
often they are, aren't they?
Yeah. And so that was kind of the first big hit. And then we were on our honeymoon, and Abdallah had what had been diagnosed as a lipoma on his leg. And I said,
Okay.
you just need to get that checked, because I had cancer paranoia from
Oh, for
everything
sure.
that had happened. And so he agreed to have a physical.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's something you don't think of as being super dangerous.
Right.
Like
Totally
kind of a
benign.
fatty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cancerous, but not.
Could
Or
be.
no, it could be. It's
Yeah, typically
can be
benign. Yep.
Okay. So, like you said, just I'm a little over
Yeah.
excited right now. So just check it out, so I don't have to think about it anymore.
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly. And so then he went to the doctor the week after our honeymoon, and it came back that it was a myxoid liposarcoma, which is a really aggressive muscle cancer.
Oh gosh.
And so that was,
And you were like, I didn't want to be right.
I wasn't
Right?
even finished with breast cancer treatment. And then my husband has this horrific cancer that, they're going to have to remove one of his quadricep muscles. And he had the worst inpatient chemotherapy and lots of radiation. It required me to be essentially a caregiver to him, because
Yeah.
he couldn't use that leg in the first 6 months of
All
marriage.
in the newlywed stage.
All
that
in the
they're
newlywed stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes you feel like you don't want to say these things, but it's not like you're aware of this stuff all the time, and this is the life you're living. But oh my gosh, to have that stolen from you.
Yeah.
Your wedding.
Yeah.
That stealing the focus. You still had your wedding and all of that, but nevertheless, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
And then this newlywed time, and he had to have your quadricep removed.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mayo had to perform that surgery because I had to take part of his calf to recuperate that so that he could still walk.
Yeah.
And so he was out of work, and it was really unthinkable that much could happen to, people that, give to people every day.
Yes,
He works
yes.
in oncology, and I work in mental health, and you just couldn't make sense
It's
of
not
it.
fair. Yeah, there's no making
Yeah.
sense of it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And for him to get, like we were talking earlier, we had a little technical difficulty, so we had a lot of time to chat, which was awesome. And someone who is giving and caring and became a physician for all those right reasons. You
Yeah.
explained it so well.
Yeah. Yeah, so Abdallah, he like I said before, he's a nerd. He loves science. He
Yeah.
loves understanding the mechanisms behind cancer. When he's not at work treating patients, he's reading about blood diseases so that he
Wow.
can fully understand them. And just loves treating patients. Like,
Yeah.
the person doesn't care if he ever gets another dollar again in his life. Like, he just wants to help people with his knowledge of science. And he is now being killed by his passion. Like, he's been given a terminal cancer diagnosis by cancer, something that has been what's driven him in life and been
Right.
his
It's just
main
not fair.
hobby.
Yeah. His main, like you said, his passion, and that he wasn't doing it for
No.
money or for accolades. He was
No.
doing it because he cares about people and wants to help
He
people.
doesn't even want to be recognized as a physician, you know, like he won't wear his white coat. He says nurses do all the real work, you know.
Oh.
The person's so humble and so caring, and it's shown in what his patients have had to say as they've come forward
Yeah.
during this crazy time. But Abdallah can't work now. He's at home and got low energy and really just
sure
trying to
pain.
get by. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got pain because there's so, of course, just in July we found out that his cancer had returned. And
Okay.
um,
So yeah, I kind of hijacked your story.
No,
so
for
to go
sure.
back, they found this. You did all of this at 6
Intense
months.
treatment, yeah.
And you were basically his caretaker.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wanted to get back to work. And anybody
sure.
that's that busy and cares about people is not doing good cooped up at home.
No, no,
So
no.
you're kind of having that, to deal with as well. Thank goodness you're a mental health professional.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
still, nevertheless.
yeah.
And then he was okay.
Yeah,
Yes?
we were both, really just trying to take care of ourselves, and
Nice.
then I'd been on hormone suppressants long enough following my breast cancer that I could start trying to secure more embryos for a future family, and
Yeah.
so we opted to do 3 additional rounds of IVF.
Wow.
And so that was really the focus of last year, and I was away a lot because I doctored in Minneapolis,
Yeah.
and we had a successful embryo transfer and found out I'm pregnant in May with our little girl who will be here in January. And
Oh
so
my gosh.
that was just such an exciting time because it was
Oh.
like, well, all of that cancer's
All of
behind
that,
us.
Yeah. Your breast cancer, his cancer, the baby's
Looking
here.
forward to the
Yes,
future.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we got to talk a little bit too, and we could do like 100 interviews, I think. But that last year I saw you speak at Bras Off Broadway, and you talked about something that I don't feel like is talked about a lot with breast cancer, especially when you're young, is that, you want to have a family.
Yeah.
There's a lot involved there and a lot of cost involved that isn't covered by insurance. And so here you are in May, you're on this like high, right?
Yeah.
No, cancer free, baby's on the way.
Yeah.
All right. Then
And the
what happened?
baby, because I was like, oh, I finally get to focus on this, right? Like this
Yes.
gets to be the focus of our lives,
Yes.
this exciting thing. And of course, just 2 months later on 7/17, Abdallah called me following his routine scan and said, it's back and it's everywhere. And so in that period of 30 days between his previous scan and then, the cancer had come back and metastasized to his lungs, his bones, his bone marrow, his muscles and soft tissues.
Oh my
And
gosh. It's really unthinkable how something can move that fast in 30 days.
yeah, it
Wow.
is. It is. And because of this type of cancer and how aggressive it is, it's just there's a lot of question marks about how long Abdallah will be alive. Initially he said, I don't know if I'll be here when the baby comes, which was just so devastating.
Oh, yeah, this is what you've been, and you kind of, you had some focus stolen away from these really great times in your life.
Yeah.
And it, I was like, I don't know how you're holding it together this whole time, girl. And you're like, finally, we get to focus on this. And then here this
Yeah.
cancer comes back
Right.
all over the place. And it just the way you talk about your husband, I can see him being very matter of fact
Yeah.
to you about it. Like, this is what it is, and I'm probably not going to make January.
Yeah. And
What do you do with that?
I mean, it's just got so many facets. Like, you don't think about being widowed at 34.
No.
You don't think about not having someone to help you raise a
Yeah,
child.
being a single mom. Yeah.
And he's, perhaps obviously our primary financial provider and
Yeah.
being a doctor. And so that's all quickly changed,
Right.
And there's this fear of being alone and
Oh yes.
the economic fear.
Oh, totally. Like we were talking earlier. I think it was meant to be. We had a lot of time to talk
Yeah.
because I get to learn a lot about your story and like you said, when you're doing IVF, that's never really covered, I don't think ever.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that were involved with that to, secure the embryos and do all of that. You're thinking, well, he's a physician, we can pay that off.
Someday we'll be debt free.
Someday, maybe when we're 57,
Yeah.
but whenever it is, we'll be debt free because
is
we've
gonna
got
be worth
this.
it.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it, and then that's going away.
Yeah, so basically like how we were going to pay off IVF immediately stopped. And that
Right.
was just the 3 rounds we just did were over $100,000. And
like you
mental
said-
health professionals don't make $100,000 a year.
No, they should.
Yeah.
They should make
Yes, they
500,000, but
Yeah.
but the reality is they don't. And like you didn't enter into this lightly. You had the income to be able to pay that off.
Yeah.
So this is just such a hit on so many fronts. Not to mention stealing some of that joy again, which I
Yeah.
just hate, because you're such a joyful person. Even when you
Thank
spoke
you.
at that at the event, I'm like, she is just full. And yeah, to see the two of you, they're just in love. They're like the cutest couple on the entire planet. So this
Yeah,
is-
we've definitely got a balancing factor to us. He's a bit
very
of a
cool.
wallflower, and I'm not. And
What?
that's just,
You're not?
I mean, I think that's part of the fear, right? Like, you find someone
yeah.
who balances you out. Like, he's going to be the grounded parent who
Yeah.
remains patient and doesn't lose their cool. And
right.
the voice
and you'll
of
do the art
reason.
projects, and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, let's just go to the beach today.
Yeah.
You know. So you are her best friend.
I am.
And Kaya and Shauna have known each other since they were 9 years old. So that is so cool.
Yep.
Which you're still not very old, so it's not really all that long.
Right.
But
We got a couple
think that-
decades.
yeah.
yeah. And so tell me about this event that you're having for your friend.
Yeah, so yes, we've been through many times together in these almost 25 years. Never thought that we'd be doing all of the things the last few years have brought. So
Yeah.
that's been tough. But we are hosting a benefit for Shauna and Abdallah this Monday, September 11th at 701 Eateries.
I'm going to pop over to our website. So I just think so often we think,
Yes.
oh yeah, I'm going to go over there. And this is in conjunction with Lend a Hand Up, which
Yep.
is, I just was recently telling people, if you, every kind of fundraising, that is wonderful, but Lend a Hand Up, if you are in this local area, it is phenomenal because they match up to 20% up to a cap of $5,000. And
Yeah.
everything goes to them. There's no percentage taken away.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Okay. So I know. All right. Now I'm popping all over the place.
Oh, you're
We'll go
good.
here.
So yeah, it's at 701 Eateries downtown. And we are fortunate to have the whole building to
Woohoo!
use for the event. So come everybody and join us. We will have, doors will open at 4. There will be a silent auction going the whole evening with 55, I think we're at, donations.
Oh my gosh.
Really incredible ones. Rick Adams, a local musician, will be singing on the rooftop that evening from 6 to 8.
Nice. That is such a
So
fun
we
venue.
are-
It is beautiful and
yes.
fancy, and at the same time, upstairs, it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like home.
Yeah.
It's a cool place.
It's going to be a really fun night. We'll have a 50-50 raffle. No need to be present to win that. We'll take your
Nice.
name and number and let you know if you
Spaghetti
win.
to feed everyone.
That's right, spaghetti
Yes.
feeds. So
I love that. I mean, who doesn't love a good spaghetti
Right.
feed? Oh, that sounds so good. And so
Yeah.
Monday, again, I'm going to pop back over. I just wanted them to be able to see our face, but I'm going to go back over to Facebook. And so we were on at the event, and then under discussion, maybe I'll just let you scroll a little, or if you want to tell about it, and I'll scroll a little bit.
sure, about some of the
Yes,
items.
So they have so many neat items, and we were talking earlier that you also have an 8-year-old boy.
Oh,
and I
yes.
think this is the one he might
That's
want.
yes. He has his eye on that. So
It's pretty tough when you're storing it at your house, and it's like, hey, mom.
yep. He hasn't even ridden it yet, so
Wow,
he's very
that's
good
impressive.
self-control. Yeah,
Very.
So many amazing local folks who are donating their time and their artistry to
Cool. This is
to
really
us.
neat.
Yes, that is a locally made live edge side table that
Wow.
I have my eye on. Also, just really beautifully done. Some donations, yes, like home goods, handmade quilts that are just beautiful. A couple of
Look at
those. This granite table
Wow.
from Great Northern Granite is just stunning. It is beautiful.
Wow.
You probably have more information about this piece, maybe.
But
Yeah.
even the legs, I mean, you were
It
saying
is
it's very
granite. It's
Grecian.
really heavy.
Yes,
Yeah.
isn't it just so pretty?
Yeah, and that's the people
So
who helped
sweet.
renovate our kitchen. So they came forward and
neat.
donated that. It's just been
Wow.
so humbling to feel so wrapped in different people's support. Even
Good.
people we don't know, which is just so cool.
Good, and I'm glad you feel that, and I think that is one of the great things about our community, but we need to know about these things so that we can reach out, you know,
Yeah.
and that just, you know, we talk about doing things for other. I mean, does anything feel better than that? You know,
Right,
nothing
right.
nothing does, except for, I hope, feeling the love,
The love.
from everybody.
It's a unique feeling to be on the receiving end of something like this. It's just really humbling, and
Yeah.
I my jaw drops, and I'm speechless because I just can't believe
Which
some of the
doesn't happen
generosity.
often, by the way.
Yeah, I'm never short on words except for during times
Wow.
like this. So
Isn't that something, you know?
Yeah.
But both of you have given so much to the community, and it's good to see that all coming back to help. And I mean, all I can say is, you know, I want there to be a miracle. You know, this is
Yeah.
not is totally unfair. It's just a completely unfair situation, and I don't even have words.
yeah, I hope for a miracle too. I think this cancer has just really shown me how ugly cancer can be,
Yeah.
and so sometimes it gets a little hard to have hope for that. But
I'm sure it does. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
hard. I mean, and like when you see it all over, and he knows, you know, that's what I think is hard too. Is sometimes when you don't know all the details in the science, it's
Yeah.
a little easier to be like, maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, honey, this is bad.
Yeah, living with the logical oncologist has some Achilles heels to it for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we're talking about a lot of not fun things, but just to state the importance of this event. I mean, to come and be able to help this family and to put our arms around them as a community. Such a amazing couple, and then also this baby on the
Yeah.
way. Yes, yes. We are just, man, we want this to be so full that you can't even get people in the
Yep.
door. So when
That's the
when they
plan.
come up and they can't get in the door,
Yes.
can they go online or anything to
They
bid?
sure can.
Okay.
Yes, Lend a Hand Up will offer a link that we will be sharing on all of our social media sites. The Lend a Hand Up site, our Facebook pages, Eventbrite, GoFundMe. We'll have a link, so
Cool.
those who are not able to attend in person still have an opportunity to bid on some of the really awesome items that have been donated.
So I'm just kind of bebopping through the website like you probably do when you're looking for it too. And so it is right here. So it took me a second, but under Give, and you just scroll down and it's coming up so soon that here's all the details. And of course, 701 on University there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you guys are pretty special, and pretty awesome to have an amazing friend like Kaya too.
Yeah, it is sure amazing to see people give their time and energy
Yes, good.
to helping us.
Good. Yeah, you deserve it, and we hope you are just overfilled with
Yes.
things and overfilled with help, and can't ever not cross my fingers for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Anything I forgot or that you guys want to make sure that we say before we finally let you go to work today? I totally just stole them on their way to work.
They were
and-
good.
I just think that I've been to a lot of silent auctions, and I think
Yeah.
this one's going to be a really exciting one, and
Yes.
so they're going to keep releasing sneak peeks. So I think if you're interested in any really cool sporting events, or
yes, there's some big events
maybe-
being shown today, possibly.
maybe box tickets to a professional event or something like that you should definitely tune in, because I think
Yes.
there's some really cool stuff that people have come forth to give Abdallah and I. So
That is awesome. It's nice to have friends, isn't it? And a great community.
An
that, like you said, even
incredible
people you don't
community.
know. And so, I would just encourage you, whether you don't know these guys at all, whether you're a good friend, whatever it is, to stop out September 11th at 701 Eateries. We got great music. There's going to be a really cool silent auction. We talked about so many fun things. Like you said, we've all been to a lot of silent auctions. There's some really cool stuff at this one.
Really cool stuff.
And if you can't make it, you can bid online too. And so I'm going to take you one more time to the Facebook page. And so here is the event page. And then I always get confused when I look at events because I want to look at the about, and then I'm like, where's the stuff? You
Yeah.
got to go under discussion. Then
Yes.
you will see the things.
Yep.
And then you can start to get a little taste for all the things that are coming your
Yeah.
way. Oh my gosh, it's going to
Lot
be
of-
fun.
I think I'm gonna have to get Kaya to get that sommelier experience.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Once the
Yes.
baby's out, we can have a little girls' night.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Oh my gosh. Well, seriously, all the prayers and positive
you.
everything to you. And
Thanks
thank
for
you for
having
sharing
us.
your story. It's really
It's
important.
it's my honor to share it. I mean, I think this is really tragic, but I think it's a beautiful story in that we've seen a community show up for my beautiful husband. So
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I think being vulnerable like that, it just always helps so many people too. So I really thank you for being willing to share your
Yeah.
story. Thank you so much. So we have Shauna and Kaya again. We've got the event at 7:01 on September 11th. And I am Jessie Ammett, your host of Valley News Now.